A pontiff passes, a legacy echoes, the death of Pope Francis and the niece who stood apart in a somber Easter Monday. The world stood still as Pope Francis, the spiritual shepherd of over 1 billion souls and the venerable head of the Vatican, passed away at the age of 88. The air is thick with mourning as preparations begin for a monumental funeral, one that will draw monarchs and world leaders from every corner of the globe, including Prince William, to pay homage to a man whose voice transcended pulpits and politics. Though elevated to divine duty, Pope Francis led a life marked by sacrifice, forsaking the intimate bonds of family in service of humanity. Yet, in the shadows of the apostolic palace, a sister mourns him, along with nieces and grandnieces who knew him not only as the Pope, but as Jorge. Cristina Bergoglio, one such relative, poured her grief into a poignant Facebook tribute. The death of Pope Francis marks a profoundly symbolic moment in the history of humanity. He was a spiritual leader who knew how to speak to the heart of the world with humility, closeness, and a profoundly human perspective. But not all family ties are woven with reverence. Among the mourners, there is one who kept her distance, Cristina Bergoglio, the Pope's niece, who forged her own path far from the Vatican's shadow. The unconventional niece, Cristina Bergoglio, born in 1967 to Maria Elena Bergoglio, Pope Francis's only sister, Cristina was raised amidst the vibrant rhythms of Argentina. She studied urban architecture at the National University of Córdoba, but soon traded blueprints for brushstrokes. By the late 1980s, Cristina had emerged as a fiercely independent artist, showcasing sweeping cityscapes of New York, London, and Madrid, the latter now her home. Her art, bold and unrestrained, fetched thousands at exhibitions, including a 2014 Miami showcase where her pieces ranged in value from $4,075 to $27,160. She was eventually immortalized in Writing with a Brush, a documentary that revealed her depth, defiance, and devotion to self-expression. Of faith and freedom despite her uncle's spiritual eminence, Cristina remains defiantly unreligious. In a candid interview with Local 10 News, she confessed, "I'm not afraid to say I see the church as outdated, and that's why I believe life has put my uncle to renew this certain system of thought that was getting stagnated." She acknowledged his mission with respect, even admiration, but refused to tether her beliefs to tradition. Her only visit to the Vatican was marked by a single, symbolic gesture, a portrait of Saint Francis of Assisi, the namesake of the Pope himself. In a 2018 interview with the Irish Times, she offered a final reflection on the distant but respectful bond. "I do not see him anymore, not because I don't want to, but because I respect his job as a spiritual messenger very much and because I am also very busy with my work." In life, Pope Francis bridged the sacred and the secular. In death, he unites mourners across faiths and philosophies. And amid the incense and eulogies, stands Cristina, a woman who chose a different path, yet whose story, like his, is one of authenticity, conviction, and legacy.